Welcome to Developing Palates. This review recap is brought to you by J.C. Newman. Founded in 1895 by Julius Caesar Newman, J.C. Newman Cigar Company is the oldest family-owned premium cigar maker in America. J.C. Newman rolls its El Rolage, factory throwouts, and Trader Jack's cigars by hand-operated vintage cigar machines at its historic cigar factory in Tampa, Florida. It also hand-rolls its Brick House, Perla del Mar, El Baton, and Quorum cigars at the J.C. Newman Pinza Cigar Factory in Esteli, Nicaragua. J.C. Newman's Diamond Crown, Maximus, Julius Caesar, and Black Diamond cigars are handmade at Tabacalera A Fuente in the Dominican Republic. With its longtime partners, the Fuente family, the Newmans founded the Cigar Family Charitable Foundation, which supports low-income families in the Dominican Republic with education, healthcare, vocational training, and clean water. Learn more by visiting jcnewman.com. Hello everyone, Aaron Lewis here in the Ventura Cigar Company studio. With me today is Jiunn Liu and John McTavish. How you guys doing this afternoon?
Pretty good.
Good, man. Happy Monday.
That's right. So today we are talking about the Corona Cigar Nicaraguan 20th Anniversary FSG Corona Gordo. It's more of a Toro 6x52. Comes out of the Tabsa factory in Nicaragua. Wrapper is Florida Sungrown. Binders from Nicaragua. Filler is Florida Sungrown and Nicaragua. Price point is $8.50. Cigar was released in 2016. So with all that out of the way, Jiunn, take us through your smoking experience.
First third, it's very Tabsa-ish when I first started smoking the cigar. So, when I get a lot of Tabsa cigars, whether it's the Corojo or Criollo-based kind of cigars, they both have this like really nice, soft, like toasted bread, roasted nuttiness to it. So this definitely had that. Had good minerality, good cedar, retro, pretty heavy dose of spicy cedar roasted nuts. Finish was dominantly cedar driven, pretty long and lingering, which is good. This for me was a pretty strong cigar. I mean, it didn't take much for me to get into it and feel the strength of it. So I kind of pegged the strength within like the medium full range, kind of basically off the bat. And then body being medium. Kind of going through a second, third, a couple of transitions. I started getting a noticeable dryness, especially on the tongue. So, a decent amount of water sipped as a result of that. There's also more this like spicy raw cut cedar note as well. And it's, it was a little disappointing because after a while, by the time I kind of got to that last third, it really ate away at those softer notes of that toasted bread and the nuttiness that I liked so much of. Within construction, it was really good. I mean, I rated the burn to be very good, the draw to be perfect. The only downside of the burn has some flaky ashes, but all things considered, especially Tabsa hybrid of a cigar, pretty damn good construction.
How about you, John? What was your smoking experience like?
I mean, I think Jiunn just did my review basically for me. Yeah, I mean, I didn't. So for the listeners out there, I don't tend to read the details of the cigar before I review it. And I'm like Jiunn. I mean, I got a few puffs in, and I'm like, where is this from? Is this Tabsa? And so I actually went to the spreadsheet. And I'm like, holy shit, it's Tabsa, because Tabsa has a profile. And like you said, it's like this spices, bready, baked goods kind of thing. And it's once you taste it, like, you know what Tabsa tastes like. So I got that right off the hop. And as you said, it doesn't take long for this on the flavor profile to go up to full, because it had chili pepper, it had pepper. I mean, underneath that, it had the sort of Tabsa elements of graham cracker, baked spices, bready notes, which was very tasty. And weirdly, I kind of got like this Connecticut shade component in the first third, which is interesting, like that kind of bitter hay, which I can't say I've gotten outside of Connecticut, so I actually found that kind of interesting. Fortunately, the chili pepper backed off maybe a quarter of the inch in, half an inch in. Then there's this really nice lingering creaminess. I mean, it's an enjoyable first third. One of the weird notes that I picked in there was an almond paste. Can't say I've gotten a lot of almond paste in cigars, but it was definitely there, and it was very defined. And as Jiunn said, kind of in the halfway point of the first third, there was a drying mouthfeel, and I didn't find it too bad in the first third, but it definitely took the forefront in the second third, because the drying mouthfeel just like took right over. And then, like you said, cedar and drying mouthfeel, and I find that a lot of times mouthfeel and drying mouthfeel and cedar kind of go hand in hand. There was some mild cocoa for me that kind of offset that, which was nice. And I would say it really became almost kind of like a Connecticut shade, a classic Connecticut shade hybrid by the halfway point. So there was graham cracker notes, Connecticut shade components. So it was still enjoyable for me through the middle third. And then for me, the last third really kind of fell into Connecticut shade profile. Hay and cedar, really mild graham cracker, but sort of very faint on the retrohale, and then there was tannic cedar, loamy earth in the post draw. So I rated the last third as average. In terms of burning construction, amazing, straight. It did require one touch up. So for me, one touch up is no big deal. Two touch ups maybe, but one touch up no big deal. Draw was flawless. Happy in the construction. Loomis, walk us through your taste experience. This is gonna be interesting.
Yeah, for me, it started with creamy and spicy cinnamon. About a quarter inch in, a little general wood note joins the profile. A little bit further in, the wood and creaminess were up front. Cinnamon kind of moved to be a little bit more mellow in the background. Retrohale has the cinnamon a bit fuller, but does have the creamy wood up front. And then a little bit further in, the wood starts to gain a toasted note to it. And as the first third wraps up, the cinnamon is pretty faint at that point. Strength is at the mild medium mark. Getting into the second third, cinnamon completely leaves the profile. Cream transitions to more of a mustiness. Retro's got toasted wood and a slight mustiness to it. And as the second third wraps up, kind of maintaining that toasted musty wood note, strength is still at that mild medium mark. Getting into the final third, kind of continuation of that toasted musty wood. A little further in, a faint char joined the profile. And then at about an inch in, the char continued to build up. Retrohale really just musty wood. And as the cigar wraps up, started to heat up a little bit, brought a little bit of a vegetal note to the profile, and strength bumped up to slightly below medium. In regards to construction, it was really good. Burn was a little bit wavy at times, but never needed any attention. Ash held on in 1 inch increments, and I thought the draw was perfect. I had no issues with it whatsoever. All right, Jiunn, so what was your overall experience like with this one?
So I guess kind of opposite of what John said. I actually do take a peek at the kind of the makeup of the cigar before I start smoking it. So when I read something like this, where I'm like, oh, there's TAPSA and there's FSG tobacco, it's hard for me to smoke something like this and not think, all right, what do I taste that's FSG? What do I taste that's TAPSA? Mm-hmm. But the general overall feel is, I would say, this is definitely more TAPSA than FSG. With the nuttiness, the breadiness, and this. It's interesting, John, you said about like almond paste. So like some of the, especially like Jalapa Correjo based TAPSA stuff that I get this like really good, like I don't know if you guys had like marzipan, like it tastes like that. There's like this almondy nuttiness to it that I love in a lot of these TAPSA cigars. So I definitely got that, so, but it also reminded me of like when we went to the trade show last year, and then we had those like burritos that we smoked with Jeff.
Yeah.
So it reminded me a lot of that nuttiness, earthiness that came out of it. So, but I mean, with all that said, I don't think anyone's going to really know this if you're like, I don't know, freaking Dion or someone that actually makes this stuff, to know what's truly what is what without doing component testing. But all that said, I thought it was a good cigar. I mean, I didn't like so much of the drying aspect of it, especially towards that last third. It really killed it. But it's a pretty good array of flavors. 850. I mean, I'd definitely give it another go at this.
How about you, John? What were your overall thoughts on it?
I didn't realize it's 850. That's a steal for a celebration cigar.
No.
Yeah, very cool. So, I mean, obviously we talked extensively about the flavors. There's no question to me that this has really nice flavors. It was interesting to me that this kind of went the whole range of intensity. Like it started out maybe at a light plus, ended up at a light plus, but reached medium full at certain stages. So I kind of remarked that I really enjoyed this. This is probably a cigar smoker's cigar because I think the flavor profile, the strength really wasn't much more the medium, but the flavor intensity was so much that I feel like this might overwhelm some of the casual smokers, or maybe even some people who've enjoyed the FSG. That it's a pretty intense cigar. That is to say, it's also delicious, and the construction is impeccable. So, if you talk about it in the category of celebratory cigars, it's got a great price. Construction is great. The Vitola is interesting, at least good. The flavor profile is decent. What's not to like? Aaron, you?
Yeah, for me, I thought the flavor profile and the complexity was really good in the first third, but then it kind of fell off in the second and final third to just be about average for me. This you talked about the regular FSG and this one. I mean, the completely different profiles in these cigars. The FSG is very dark and earthy and things like that, and this didn't have that at all, at least for me. And strength level for me was quite light compared to what Jiunn was getting. So I think that this cigar would make the FSG tobacco much more approachable to someone than if they smoked the Drew Estate FSG version. I just think it's something that more smokers could smoke. Price point's definitely more attractive, and I think the strength depends on, I guess, which version you get, but strength I think is a little bit more approachable as well. I think the price point's fantastic on this cigar, especially for the size. In saying that, I think I would like to try this in a little bit shorter and a smaller ring gauge, just to see if we can kind of concentrate some more of the FSG tobaccos to see what that does. But I think if you get any of the Vitolas, they all have great pricing on them, so I think it would be a really good option there. All right, so let's get into the scores. We'll start at the top. John, you gave it a 7 even. Jiunn, you were next at 6.87, and I gave it a 6.20. So, John, 7.
It's exactly what a 7 should be. Impeccable construction and flavor to match. If only that last third didn't have that intense drying component, I think this could have been in the mid to high 7s. But, at 850, what do you want? What more do you want?
Exactly. All right, Jiunn, 6.87.
I go with John. I mean, John and I are really close to each other. The only thing that we're off on is Birdmark. I rated it 1 less than him, but the important part of it, smoking any cigar, really is flavor. So I agree. I think it's a really good cigar. It's well worth the price. Yeah.
Yeah, for me, it's 6.2. I thought it was above average flavor profile, really good construction. So I think the score matches up well. Price point is an addition to that, which makes it really attractive. So if you feel like the Drew Estate FSG might be something that's a little too powerful or not in your wheelhouse, I would say give this one a shot, see what you think. But that'd be where I'm at. Any other final thoughts from you guys on this one?
I mean, I think everything that Jeff seems to touch lately is gold. I'm pretty excited to see what he's got in store. I don't know if he's got anything. Does he have anything new? I don't even know. But
I haven't heard anything.
I'm kind of.
But
really
you got some. You got the Davidoffs that have it, and then you've got the American. Actually, the American's coming out this year. So,
the American,
that's got it. So
super stoked.
Yeah, I mean, so there's lots of other stuff. Like that's the thing is if people just think that the FSG tobacco is from the Drew Estate FSG cigar, then that's a wrong way to look at it. Is FSG tobacco is used in a lot of different blends. So you could do Davidoff stuff, this Tabs stuff, Drew Estate stuff, so Fuente stuff from the JC Newman. Well, not Fuente, but it's being rolled in Florida. So, but there's lots of different iterations of what tobacco is being used. So there's lots of different ways to try it out.
I think he's killing it.
Yeah. All right, if you're just catching this video on YouTube, be sure to subscribe to us. We'll also check out the full written review on the website, developingpalates.com. Follow us on all the social media channels, and you can catch all of our review recaps on podcasts. So iTunes, Google Play, and Podbean. Thank you for tuning in. We will catch you on the next one.